good evening, and welcome to We All Gonna Die Wednesday. Livingston man, roll that beautiful beam footage. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. It's a we all gonna die Wednesday.
Back in the case.
Booyah! We All Gonna Die Wednesday number 85!
85
Got it.
times.
Got it. Canadian, what's good?
So
Coffee
good.
first, then speak. El Guapo, Teresa Buchanan, Yardbird, Southern Tier Prepper, Scott Trudell, She Said. Who else we got here? SRD in the house. What's going on, some random dude? Wolfang, good to see you. Moonsprout, thank you for stopping by. William Kays, Gick Rhymes, 5 by Whiskey. Much appreciated, Gick. Mr. Zero, what's happening? Mad Mama, hey, hey. Rescue, what's good, my brother? Good to see you, man. It was nice to catch a live stream this morning, even if it was on my way to work. Sometimes I gotta listen along and drive. You know, I try to bring the YouTube family with me wherever I go.
So
But
you
yeah, I
drive
can't always.
distracted.
No, I just I
TV
no, I
while you
listen. I
drive.
listen. I listen. I listen along. I listen along while driving. It's a great way to offer support, man. You know, a lot of these streams, you've seen my face 100 million times. You don't need to look at me. You can just listen to me. That's why we also offer these in podcast form. There's actually a playlist for that. So if you want to just listen along, we try to make everything so coherent that you don't really need to see anything to understand what's going on in the stream anyway. And the Livingston man is an audio engineer and does an absolute fantastic job with the audio quality of the stream. So,
Try.
It's there.
Some I
It's
saw
there.
in the comments kind of got my goat a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Eric N1RV, our #1 subscriber.
What's good, my brother?
Yo, they hit him with an ad during the intro. Listen, YouTube, don't fuck with my shit like that.
Livingston man, roll that beautiful bean footage. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. It's a we all gonna die Wednesday. Yeah, we skip all that. You guys just wanted to hear the music. Yardbirds, I really appreciate that, bro. You know, we've been grinding. We've been grinding for quite a few years now. I think we're-
85 weeks, and that's not actually an accurate number because some of them were simply named differently. There was more.
Yeah.
There's actually more "We All Gonna Die Wednesdays" than the number would imply.
It's
but
true.
at the end of the day, I dare anyone who's like new here or even semi, like go back and watch like our first
Yeah.
cringeworthy,
Southern Tier
absolute
Prepper
trash shit
did.
we used to do.
Watch our very first live stream. She
I
actually
don't got the
messaged me and
nerve.
confessed that she
got
went
the-
back
I
and
can't.
she did her homework. You know, she did her research and she's prepping on, and she
Forgot to turn the
knows.
cool
She
lights on.
knows.
You need to-
My future ringtone alarm sound. We'll get. Oh,
So we forgot.
There now, now we're good. Now we're
We're
good.
gonna do this cool shit. Too.
Jules said that she did her homework as well. Oh yeah, that's dope. We global, baby, global.
How about that thing spinning in the corner? Listen, if you're watching on your phone, like, please, for the love of all that's holy, like, turn it sideways.
Yeah.
That vertical format experiment you tried.
El Guapo doing fantastic, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by.
We done FAFO'd on that.
Yeah. So it works. It has its place.
This is our
right?
flagship show.
This is it. This is how it all started. You know, the vertical stuff is cool, and I don't mind doing some campfire chats, or if we're out and about doing things. You know, I'll bring everybody with me anywhere I can. Y'all are on the TV. TT1, what's good, my brother? Awesome. This has got to look fantastic on a TV.
We're toying with the idea of making two separate playlists. Our camera technology lets us shoot in both formats at once. And one in the chat, if you guys think it would be either useful or necessary, even.
Yeah, do
two separate playlists. There's
absolutely.
For the phone people and the TV people.
Eric wants to know if we can bump the audio a bit. Livingston man can do anything. What are you doing? Oh, he's doing things. He's touching stuff.
Blue or green?
Rescue, blue, green. Rescue says the audio does seem low. Maybe the limiter is clamped down a little bit much.
Probably. Listen, I'll fix it. I'll be right with you guys. Just keep your talking. I ain't the limiter.
Oh, pardon me. Livingston man just waves his magic mouse, and it's all fixed. Some random dude says 1 + 419. Hey, get her done, man. Whatever does it for you, brother. Smoke and Swamp says thumbs up number 36. Much appreciated, Smoke and Swamp. It looks like 37 so far. 37 out of 69. Appreciate you stopping by tonight, Smoke.
Ratio was too high. How about?
Yeah. Is it getting any better? You gotta let me know.
Eric,
can you hear me, Eric?
It's always Eric.
Definitely a wake-up song. Who's slacking on the thumbs up? I am. I know I haven't hit that.
I know you guys been subjecting yourselves to too much loud rock music and gunfire. That's why you can't hear us.
Yeah, well, Jay Creature says 52% of your audience has severe tinnitus and can't tell.
Exactly.
Rescue says, yes, a little better. Fantastic.
Meanwhile, we're echoing off the walls of Kevo's work bathroom like it's the Red Rocks Amphitheater. His boss is like, I can hear you watching Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival in there.
I can hear them in the walls. Survival guys are hiding in there. Jason of VA, what's good? Betty Lou, how are you? Let's see, who else did I miss? James Carroll.
Nobody hit one in the chat, so whatever. We'll just do what I was talking about anyway. Fuck y'all. Top story tonight.
Yeah,
everybody.
Guys, we have a little bit to talk about. Could you move that?
You mad?
No, I just can't see.
It might change because
I just can't see.
So, all right, you guys. The Supreme Court laid down a decision or two.
Yes.
Number one of which is is provocative to say the least. And so our lead-up story tonight is from, of course, CNN.
Got it.
They did not pay us to promote their shit content, but at any rate,
yeah.
They're going to allow the White House to press the social media companies to remove what they deem to be disinformation.
Yep.
This comes with a 6-3 ruling from the Supreme Court. The reason given for the ruling was that, in my opinion, this is not over. It was more like a technicality. There are certain thresholds that need to be met before you can sue the government, essentially. And this is what the plaintiffs attempted to do.
Okay.
They needed to prove either physical, financial, or some other kind of tangible damage. And they...
well, these people's accounts were removed and things like that. They, their whole entire social media was destroyed in some cases.
It's not physical.
But it had monetary, folks are monetized, so,
I tell you, that's not physical either.
Oh.
This is what the court essentially ruled in the vernacular, okay, is that, your paperwork's out of order.
So This was a split decision, right? This wasn't unanimous that your paperwork was out of order.
No, but 6-3 is it's a little loud.
Well, it's heavy-handed to one side for sure. But you did say that the 3 dissenters were like, screw the paperwork. This is blatant disregard of the First Amendment.
Essentially, the 3 who dissented were, of the mind that, like, quote unquote, you know what they're saying here.
Okay.
But
could you share this this link in the chat for folks?
I think,
Perhaps if you can't, I know I can. That's fine. Yeah. So please, my friend, go on with the chlorophyll.
All right. So essentially, this case will be re-examined at some point, except that now the plaintiffs have to go get their paperwork in order and try to prove, meet this threshold before you can stand before the Supreme Court and argue a case.
Okay.
In this case, the rules dictate that they didn't exactly meet them. The 3 dissenting judges were like of a mind, like I said, that you know what they're saying here, but also they predicted that this will now, in between this ruling and the next time, that this now new privilege will be abused because it essentially gives the proverbial White House the constitutional authority at this point to pressure social media companies to remove
take down any kind of dissenting information.
To use a strong word, censorship. All right, we don't like that laptop story. We don't like that sex scandal.
Here's
story.
your article.
This could be fake, and as Americans, if you've been paying attention, you must know and have noticed that things that were blatantly and loudly pointed at and called disinformation have since been proven to have not be. And this paves the way.
Coffee said it.
This paves the way for, I don't care if it's Biden or Trump. I don't want either of these dickheads telling me what is true.
So indeed, there appears to be a ministry of truth in the United States federal bureaucracy. I don't remember voting for a ministry of truth, Livingston.
You don't. This is
Did
the
any
swamp.
of you
This
guys
is the deep
vote
state.
for
This is the
a ministry of truth? Give me a 1 in the chat if you voted for a ministry of truth, because I didn't.
This will clearly, and we know that when given a sort of a court's go-ahead, we saw it with the VX there, is that the court gives it a tentative go-ahead, and like
they're going to run wild with
the
it.
President of the United States starts saying things like, okay, it might be proven illegal later, but you should do it now while it's still legal. Okay, and this paves way for any and all of them to do that until this is actually rectified.
Well,
and what's
guys,
interesting about it is it's not the government that feeds social media.
Nice knowing you.
It's not the companies that, it's actually us as people. And so again, this is why it tramples on any and all of our First Amendment rights, because no matter who you are, they get to say that that doesn't align with the party line, and so we're gonna have to make sure that nobody sees this. You're virtually unpersoned. You get that. You post that quote, that thing that you think is awesome, but that nobody sees it. Is shadow banning, I believe it's called.
Welcome to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, friends. If you are here, you are part of the shadow ban community. Believe that. They do everything in their power to keep their foot on our head and keep us down. So it just leads me to believe that I must be saying the right things. Yankee Watchdog, what's good? Let's see. Mika Wolf says, I see big fat lawsuits against YouTube, any corporation that's trying to suppress the truth.
The same way that they financially held firearms manufacturers responsible for the crimes committed with their products. The same way they held Big Pharma accountable for
opioids.
But then they saved everyone, so it was all cool. But here it, again, opens the floodgates for nothing but lawsuits, and I see a bad moon on the rise.
Indeed.
for social media
Indeed.
companies because
Indeed.
now they are going to get put on the hook for what people do with their product and who's to blame.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Do you hate the player or do you hate the game here?
Winning streak, when we came into the live tonight, it actually, wait a second, I jumped in. Winning streak, please let folks know there is an AI that is giving chat summaries
Yeah, I wanna see
when
more
you
of that,
come
too.
into
It was indeed accurate. Bring it back.
yeah, when you come into the stream, it's I took a picture of it because I was like, what?
It like brought us up to speed. Like
Yeah,
we knew
on
what, you
what
guys were
everybody was
talking
talking about, which was very interesting. It said it's an experiment. It's an auto-generated experiment. It says quality may vary. People are chatting and saying hi to each other.
That's all y'all fucking
Canadians suggest using Crisco can to make a candle. The group is friendly and welcoming, chatting about various topics. Interesting. Interesting. So the
I found
AI
that
is here.
useful.
The AI is here, and it's listening. Hi AI. We want to say hi to you. We want to treat the AI nice because the AI says whether we live or die on YouTube, and they're either going to recommend us based on our friendly folks in the chat here.
When the robots destroy all of you rude
It
peasants,
is indeed.
I'm gonna
We
be
all
sit-
gonna die fucking Wednesday.
I'm gonna be sitting back in my throne
Holy
wearing my crown
shit.
because I like say shit like "thank you" to Alexa and she appreciates it. Have you started building your social credit score yet? Because you're gonna find
fuck.
yourself fucked if you haven't. I'm telling you. Like you can be who you want to be. You need sock accounts for that.
It's
But
come full circle, man. The AI is here. The government now has greenlit permission to basically just shut everybody down on any social media platform that they deem necessary. So honestly, guys, if they could wipe this whole shit like right now, just boop, just and you're gone.
They won't. No balls.
Well, they've done it to a lot of other people.
Good. Fuck 'em.
Well, deplatformed. Not just here. You know, take down the website, take down the Facebook, take down the Instagram, take down the YouTube. Just unperson you, make you fucking disappear. This is the kind of power that they have with just a couple clicks of a keyboard to literally take you from the digital world and fucking make you analog in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Imagine that. Imagine everything we've learned digitally. You know, creating content, posting things online, sharing things to social media. Your entire digital life just goes, and you're fucking analog again. You're back to cassette tapes.
I'm gonna assume something right now, and that is that most of us in the chat here remember being warned by elementary school teachers about your permanent record. This is going on your permanent record.
Is that when they started?
You write it yourself
Okay.
and have been. Okay, the greatest thing that ever happened was
Hear that, TT1.
they let people have this illusion of freedom online as we are doing and seeing right now. Earlier than that, they wrote things down about you. There are files about you. Your teachers wrote a little report about you. Does anyone please tell me you do? I cannot be the only one.
Oh no, I do remember, them saying that to me in elementary school. But after that, they kind of shut up about it.
After that, you got to write it yourself. But the thing that, please someone else remember this because I can't be the only one that remembers this. At least at the school I went to, on Friday, in the morning, the school nurse
Interesting winning streak.
would come around with the fluoride.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the
Yeah.
fluoride?
The
And that
fluoride cups. Yeah.
They were
Double dog. What's good, brother?
they were very specific to the point of being authoritarian that you must spit
Spit it back in the cup.
into that
Yeah,
cup.
you think we gave them all DNA?
Clearly,
Okay.
I grew.
Is this why I have a twin? I've seen him online. He's like a big social media guy.
Everybody looks.
No, but he's like my fucking twin. He's like a clone, Livingston, man. I bet you he's the same age as me.
All right. In the interest of what I'm talking about here is that what America did.
He's out there.
Before we entered World War II, and definitely by the end of it, especially with the Russian threat looming and everything, is that America inherited the absolute worst traits of its enemies and presents them as something else. We have the Stasi, we have secret police, we have all that stuff, but we call it something different and present it differently. Is all. We nuked 2 cities. Okay, we made Japanese popcorn not once but twice.
And that was after firebombing everybody, right?
We are the heroes because history is written by the victor, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get the loser's story does not get chiseled in stone. In fact, the loser's entire history gets blotted out and erased and blown up and turned into buildings and reclaimed for work projects. Where am I going with this? Everything you think you know is either a lie, extremely exaggerated, or presented ignorantly.
That's a hard truth that I have had to swallow, being I guess a truth seeker, Livingston, man. Always looking for the why, who and why, and
It's the most important part of the story. Nobody cares about.
It's gone. It's gone. It doesn't exist. It's dead.
It's not
dead.
who. It's not where. It's not what. It's why.
Yeah. See, El Guapo knows. Just work out. Have a few drinks, man. Get ripped. Get ready, because it would appear that things are not looking so good, folks. The Supreme Court is more worried about fucking people having their proper paperwork in order than upholding the fucking First Amendment. So here we are.
Because they want to. I have to respect that decision because at least it was that. It wasn't some political opinion or some religious bullshit or anything to do with that. It was simply a judicial thing.
Yeah.
They're like, get it right next time and come back and we'll rule on it for real.
Yeah. Well, I guess, like you said,
the rule of law was upheld here. I mean, as much as we all hate going to the fucking DMV and being told we didn't do it right and you gotta go to the back of the line. Listen, it happens to everybody.
Janet Neese says, do you think people on Patreon will be canceled too? I do. I honestly do. And I've heard of people having their, it's not, you can't really say anything. Jay Creature says, Mike, did you recertify your New York State carry permit? If you guys have a New York State pistol permit, you have to recertify every, 2 years now? It used to be 5 years and they changed it to like 3 years. Now it's probably 2 years. Next, it's going to be fucking 6 months. And then they're going to be like, oh, sorry, you failed to recertify. You can't have those anymore. This is the slippery slope. And I got to say, we're watching it happen.
You guys want to see the most killer farm tan in the world?
Oh, good Lord. Can you turn the lights down or something, Livingston, man?
All right, yo.
Woo! Ooh.
It's a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one.
It's a real problem, and if you haven't recertified your pistol permit, which is no longer done through your county like it was issued, now it's done through the New York State Police. No, you can't go there and get a piece of paper. Yes, you have to go online and enter all your sensitive information into a New York State Police database. Yes, that's how it's done. Then, once you're entered into the database, then you are compliant. And you have to keep a piece of paper printed out that says that you did all this, because they can't be bothered to look in their computer and say that you, did what you were supposed to do.
Friends, this is why I buy my fucking guns from this dude in the Walmart parking lot. I ain't got time for this shit.
Or you move to a free state where you don't have to deal with the bureaucracy.
You honestly, you don't have to deal with the bureaucracy.
If you go to the the hood, you can pick anything up from any street corner. If you got enough cash, you're probably gonna get robbed, but you could probably pick up whatever.
I'm old enough to remember before weed. I remember when weed was illegal. Okay, I know how to fucking. find what I gotta get, man. Like no, anybody gave a shit about the fucking law, dude.
It's
like,
it sucks watching. You know, you warned people that this was a slippery slope, right? As soon as you allow the wedge in there, they're gonna just start chipping away at it, and fucking 2 years in, all of a sudden it's you guys gotta recertify everything, like right now. If you didn't already, you got to about 5 minutes ago to get it in. So
they'd be like, "Where'd it go?" I don't know.
It sucks.
Where'd what go? What are you talking about?
They make it extremely hard to be a law-abiding citizen, and I honestly think that is probably the aim of all of this.
It's another
is to
aspect,
trip you up.
It's and it's a debt thing. It
Heavens
really
fire,
boils
couldn't
down to money. Even our legal system boils down to capitalism, right?
Oh, big time. Big time money.
Because
you're going to generate a shitload of money.
The economic disparity between two defendants can mean the difference between a slap on the wrist and life in prison.
Amen to that. True story, bro. True story. The slippery slope, right? First it was just this, then it's maybe that too. Oh, maybe this too. And it sucks, man. It sucks. They're trying to turn everybody into a criminal one way or another.
Because it costs money to be
Well,
a criminal.
you know, the worst part is that you don't get like notifications. You know, they don't email me directly and say, "Hey, the laws have changed."
Ignorance of the law is not an excuse, and that's what they'll tell you.
But the law is so complicated and
The law is
obscure
thick.
that I can't even fucking understand it, yet alone interpret it.
And Thomas Jefferson, one of the, of course, founding fathers and third president of the United States, said that the laws should be neither so voluminous or so obscure that the common person cannot understand them. And it is exactly what is. The United States tax code is inconceivable. AI would take 100 years to read it.
Grateful Preps NJ says, I recommend getting U.S. Law Shield. It's not. I can't. I live in New York. They will not allow it here. They do not cover New York. They cannot cover New York. It's actually written in New York State law that we can't have anything like that.
The mindset, ladies and gentlemen, is your very existence violates the community standards.
Yeah.
Own that shit.
Texas Surplus Pro, I think you are exactly right. If you turn everybody into a criminal, make the laws so obscure, so vague, make so many of them that on any average day, an average citizen breaks the law 5 to 7 times. And they don't even know that they do it in some cases.
A traffic stop takes as long as it does because what happens is the cop has probable cause. He thinks something happened here. He relays what he
Things happened.
He describes the situation to dispatch. They look it up and decide and dictate to him what exact municipal 1032 point fucking code you may have, and then he goes with that.
Mr. Zero's got it.
The people enforcing the laws don't particularly understand them. They need to essentially ask, quote unquote, Google, this is when you know you have too many. And for what? And who do laws restrict? The people that don't break them.
Yeah.
Laws only work on people that care. And criminals just don't. You're talking to a guy, I might as well go put on my red shirt and my communist beret and whatever else. But I think it's more an anarchism mentality.
I don't know, man.
What do these great halls of Congress and these voluminous volumes, this Library of Alexandria of laws actually do? I mean, yes.
Aside from restrict the citizenry at this point, I don't really see what they do aside from restrict your ability to be a free individual.
Laws in general are lines on the grocery store floor, and are you going to follow them, or are you going to just go to the store and do what you want to do?
Well, it's a terrible world that we're in that, in the face of everything that's going on in the world nowadays, that they want us to be less safe, carry less means of personal protection, when seconds count, the authorities are minutes away. You have to have some level of personal protection, and that's up to you to decide what level you take that to. Whether, like Jay Creature, whether you recertified your pistol permit, or you're just carrying some pepper spray in your bag, which that fucking may be illegal here in the People's Republic of New Yorkistan. Maybe you got some knuckles on the keychain, It's up to you. It's up to you what level of personal protection you wish to carry. But the laws are so vague and so obscure, and there's been laws and then laws taken back, and then decisions made and then stays, and then all this shit happens. And how is the average person supposed to know what the fuck the actual law is, because nobody ever comes out and tells you? How are you supposed to follow these laws? The system is so broken it can't even follow itself, Livingston, man. Ugh, makes me sick to my fucking stomach.
And the law of interpretation, where just because you're reading these same words one way, I am interpreting them a different way. This is an ancient problem. The best example probably being the Bible and Holy Scripture amongst all the major religions.
Okay.
Is that people's ability to interpret it away. And it's what everybody does. We can all get up on a high horse and stand on a soapbox and explain that what we think the founding fathers meant by this. But unless you went back in time,
you don't really know what they meant by this. Yeah.
What I wish there was is instead of legality,
morality.
Yes, exactly.
That shit's amazing.
Amazing shit. Exactly. There used to be a thing called the Court of Common Pleas, and the idea of this court was not to decide exactly what was legal,
but what was right. Okay.
We don't do that anymore. The system has become a slave to itself, or relies on red tape, flawlessness. If it's not watertight and bulletproof, it can't fly. But the Court of Common Pleas would say, I know what you're saying here.
Yes. They wouldn't be so worried about your fucking paperwork being in order, right?
And it took a...
Could you bring us up the next article, Livingston, man? We are a half hour deep on the very first topic of the evening.
First we had that, but now it's...
Listen.
Is this the one? That's the last
one. Well, that's what's up. So that's what we're going to discuss right there.
400 whole migrants were brought in here by an ISIS-affiliated network with whereabouts of 50 unknown.
So they know where 350 of these dudes are.
Are they in custody, though?
I don't know. Probably not. Right?
Yeah, you want to go ahead and be cool and drop the link in the chat again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is from the New York Post.
Yeah, now, the New York Post is a little extreme. They are a clearly partisan newspaper, right up there with Fox News.
Aren't they all?
Well, we got the Wall Street Journal is leans left. This clearly leans right. The New York Post does blow some whistles here and there, but they are often mad loud with their headlines.
I did have to dig pretty far to find this New York Post article. It wasn't very high on the list, Livingston, man.
There's a bunch of word salad. All right, I'm going to quote verbatim here.
Give it to him. It's probably written by AI.
In this case, it was the information that suggested a potential tie to ISIS because of some of the individuals involved in, quote, smuggling migrants to the border that led us to want to take extra care, a senior Biden administration official told the outlet. And out of an abundance of caution, make sure that we exercised our authority in the most expansive and appropriate way to mitigate risk because of this potential connection being made.
This is that AI written? It's got to be written by AI.
It's a run-on sentence, if nothing else.
It's got to be. And here is a link
There's real ADHD
to that article in the chat.
vibe. The official noted that since ICE started arresting migrants brought into the U.S. by the smuggling group several months ago, no information has tied them to any threats to the U.S. Many of the over 400 migrants involved had crossed the southern border and were released into the country by CPB,
Customs and Border Patrol.
because they were not on the government's terrorist watch list. The three anonymous officials said there was three of them. They all said that at once, apparently.
All at the same time.
While the agency did not have information raising concerns at the time the migrants entered the country, recent terrorist attacks in Russia have caused heightened concern over ISIS and its offshoot, ISIS-K.
Yeah.
As a result,
K was the scariest letter they could find.
the Department of Homeland Security has been monitoring migrants coming from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Moldova, Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, and Russia. Not stopping them, mind you, but, quote their article, monitoring them. All places that ISIS-K has been observed. One of the hotbed locations, Tajikistan, has had over 1,500 migrants come into the U.S. between October 2020 and May 2024, according to leaked border data obtained by the Post. And there's a red link for that.
Yep, that's the leaked data.
It's unknown how many of the Tajik migrants were released into the U.S., but the vast majority of migrants caught at the border claim asylum and are allowed to stay while they await a court hearing.
Fantastic.
ISIS-K, of course, was responsible for a massive attack on a concert in Moscow carried out by citizens of Tajikistan. They killed 145 people and wounded hundreds more in March of 2022. The fact that the whereabouts were unknown is clearly alarming, former FBI counterterrorism section chief Christopher O'Leary told NBC.
O'Leary.
If you
So
didn't,
it's
if you
something that we
haven't been
kinda
paying
knew.
attention, this border
We kind of
crisis,
knew, but this just
this was
solidifies it.
bound to happen. Okay. I have no words for this. This is a border crisis that has been ongoing, which the current administration refuses to acknowledge, and that the opposition will not let go of. This is why the opposition is against this, exactly this.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. It's not good. It's not good. We kind of knew this was happening. Again, like I said, this just solidifies it, and we know for a fact that ISIS members have crossed the border, and that is, some of them are unaccounted for. How many more? I'm sure there's a lot more from all different places. It's terrible. And see, Grateful Prep says it right there. It's terrible, man, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And hopefully, this shit gets straightened out soon. Apparently, old Joe Biden has decided that it's time to do something about the southern border, right? So, got to do something about the southern border. Got to have it. Got to do it. Oh, look at you go! Wow, should notice a noticeable change.
He said I was mumbling. It said, no, I don't yell indoors like Mike does.
I have an outside voice that I try to bring
You
inside.
fucking hear me now, God damn it! Am I peeking your speakers now?
I wonder if I can wait out this next war in New Zealand. Bunker security or comic relief. Totally. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. It's a good look. I like the 3 with the global, it's got the whole network in there. Oh, that's all, what is that? All cams? All
Yeah,
cams.
but we still only
There
have
it is.
that. But,
That's cool. I love that. But, Livingston, man, the Supreme Court is not done yet. We expect more decisions on a lot more topics in the coming days. A lot more topics in the coming days. We got a whole nother article we can bring up about that here very shortly. there's lots of things on the chopping block, and apparently some things were leaked today, and I'm not touching that topic with a 10-foot pole. That is not my circus. They are not my monkeys. I'm not dealing with it. No, sir. No, sir. But, oh, man.
What do I do?
Oh, it's all gone. It's all gone. Everything just disappeared.
Got locked out real quick. Please enter your PIN. Okay.
Jay Creature says it's called Bilderberg Red. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Speaking of Bilderberg, now I see us peeking out. Can you guys hear us now?
Yeah,
okay.
Heaven's Fire said it's much better now. Thank you. You're very welcome, Heaven's Fire. Kia Chris, you know, you're probably right, bro. He says they're your monkeys whether you want them or not. And unfortunately.
Okay, so a quick message to people that think things should change and socially, politically, globally go in their favor. Why you lose the battle is because these outrageous people go out there, speak their truth, throw it in people's face, and get headlines for it. Conservatives like to use this cop-out phrase, to go to work. And that's why there are drag queens reading to your children in school, because you had to go to work. They didn't. They pushed their agenda. They said loud and clear what they wanted to do, what they were going to do, and then they did it.
Yeah.
While you copped out and said, I had to go to work. And you think now you have the right to complain. You weren't there. And advocacy groups do this horse shit that I hate all the time.
Yep.
Where they go and they rally and they assemble and they yell at an empty building on a holiday. The guys they're mad at ain't there and don't hear it and don't care.
Yeah.
But because it was convenient for everybody to show up, you did it and nobody gave a shit because it had no impact whatsoever. Conservatives, up your game. Throw a proverbial brick because your opposition will. They'll be allowed.
Well, they'll throw a literal brick.
Yeah. Their headline will be so much louder and so much more resonant than yours because you like to sit back and hope that some great man from somewhere gonna change your life and do it for you.
Now you have to be
while
the
you
change
go
that
to
you wanna
work
see.
like a slave and do what you're told on the plantation. Your opposition doesn't do that. Now,
Somehow they have tons of money, and it's protest season, and you're gonna see them out in the streets. Believe it. Livingston, man, could you bring up that last article that we have to discuss tonight?
let's try it.
Let's try.
All right, so I think if I do this, is that?
There it is.
You already talked
there
about
it is. No, this is all the decisions. We're going to scroll through this list here, Livingston, man. And as we scroll through, there is a lot of decisions that are yet to be made. One of the biggest one is Trump versus the United States. This is Trump's bid for immunity. This is something that's going up before the Supreme Court. Very, like, tomorrow, perhaps, Livingston, man. And going on, we're just going to bullet point these right on through.
The question for Trump versus the United States of America, the question is under what circumstances, if any, a former president has immunity from criminal prosecution. Neil Gorsuch, a justice in his own right, predicted that this decision would be for the ages.
The next one is Fisher versus the United States, and this one challenges the scope of the January 6th charges.
Defense lawyers contend that prosecutors have adopted an overly broad interpretation of a federal law that makes it a crime to obstruct an official proceeding. The charge carries a maximum prison sentence of 20 years and has been leveled against more than 350 people in connection with the January 6th incident.
Moving on.
Moyle versus the United States.
Yeah,
Emergency. We're not going to talk about this one.
Yep. And then we've got Net Choice versus Paxton and Moody versus Net Choice. And this one is the regulation of social media. This case could pose a conundrum for the court's 6-justice conservative majority And those justices so concerned about the platform's alleged biased content moderation policies. I believe this is the one that was ruled on today, so maybe this article came out before that ruling.
Will they approve government intervention to protect conservative commentary, or will they stick to a more traditional First Amendment approach that would give social media companies broad latitude to decide what appears on their platform?
Yep.
Murthy versus Missouri.
Yeah, this one is about the government pressure on social media. So I think, again, that one was decided in the earlier article that we talked about. And then Relentless Inc. versus the Department of Commerce, and Loper Bright Enterprises versus Raimondo.
There's like a three-way fight here.
Yeah.
They lack the flash and sizzle of some of the others.
This one is all about the Commerce Department, right, Livingston?
Ostensibly, they focus on a Commerce Department rule requiring boat operators to pay for monitors to confirm compliance with limit aimed at preserving fish stock.
Interesting. That's that could have some broad-reaching implications there.
Security and Exchange Commission versus Jarkessi.
Sure.
In-house judges at federal agencies.
Yeah, that's kind of like the government provides its own judge and says you did something wrong, and then you don't get to ask anything. That's the ultimate shit. So they want to curtail that by inserting a federal judge in the meeting so they can get back, right?
It should be. There's no check and balance in that. What they're calling justice there.
Yeah. No
the
checks,
judge
no
works
balances.
for the thing. It can't be unbiased.
Yep. And then Harrington versus Purdue Pharma. This is all about bankruptcy for opioid manufacturers. Yeah.
Okay, so here's some privilege in this one, though. All right. The Biden administration asked the Supreme Court to block the
And your link
controversial
in the chat.
bankruptcy plan for Purdue Pharma, which faced a torrent of lawsuits for its marketing of an opioid medication that addicted vast numbers of Americans. The justices put the multi-billion-dollar bankruptcy settlement on hold temporarily while they weigh the case. The arrangement would result in the Sackler family giving up control of the bankrupt drug maker, and it would effectively cap their liability at $6 billion. What we're seeing here is a cop-out by super rich people
To not pay any more money.
because of people that died because of probably something they knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
Ohio versus the Environmental Protection Agency.
Does that prove that it exists?
They have yet to rule on that.
And then we have the city of Grants Pass versus Johnson. This is a very big one. This one is about homeless rights. Have at it, Livingston, man. It's a major case involving the rights of people without housing.
Is it unconstitutional for a city to prohibit homeless people from sleeping in public when there are no shelters available? The case arises from a ban on homeless encampments in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Yeah.
The outcome will affect how cities and states across the country tackle the nation's homelessness crisis.
Yep. Then we have Snyder versus the United States, and this one is the scope of federal antitrust laws. Basically, it's saying that politicians can take money from people who work for the state in like donations. This guy got $13,000 and was found guilty of corruption charges when he doesn't believe it was corruption charges. So this will kind of set the stage for corruption and money moving around, Livingston, man.
What they're seeking here is a redefinition of the word. Apparently, the case turns on the vagueness of the word corruptly, quote unquote, and whether it is clear enough to potentially apply to millions of people who work for state and local governments subject to the statute because they receive federal funds. So because your agency or department receives federal funds, but your boss was doing something shady, are you
Liable for corruption.
Are you now a criminal organization?
Yeah.
Corner Post Incorporated versus Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System.
Yeah, this is a big one about debit card fees. Yeah, they charge, was it 21 cents? I think for every time somebody swipes a debit card, they charge the person who has the card reader for the debit card. Every time they swipe it, 21 cents. So this is something that they're trying to say that they shouldn't be charged.
Actually not. A Federal Reserve rule that requires merchants to pay banks 21 cents every time a debit card is swiped.
Yeah.
The issue before the judges isn't about the validity of the rule itself.
Okay.
It is a technical issue involving the statute limitations for challenging the rule.
Oh, interesting.
And that's that.
There you go. There's the sum up of your...
The Supreme Court's going to be ruling on
some things. And pending, hopefully all these folks have their fucking paperwork in order, if we've learned anything from tonight's live stream.
It does boil down to that, essentially.
And make sure you have your paperwork in order. Make sure you have your shit together. Make sure you have it in order, man. The world is not looking like a very hospitable place anymore, Livingston, man. Doesn't matter where you go or what you see, there is disaster lurking around every corner, it seems, in unprecedented times every freaking day. So
if you decide to perceive it that way.
Yeah, sure.
Blessing. Count
That's on
your
the Jay Creature
blessings.
channel. Jay Creature, cut
Count
it out.
your blessings.
Yeah, and make sure, guys, do an inventory of your preps. If you're not doing anything this weekend, Grateful Preps NJ. Thank you so much, sister. Really appreciate that. Oh man, there's no heart. Oh man.
What is this? Can't even pin it either?
Man, no, won't let you. Inventory. Do check your gear. Do a gear check. Open up your bug out bags. Make sure everything's in there. Cycle out some items. Test out your gear this weekend. If you can't get out into the woods, go out into the backyard and test it out. Make sure everything's in good working order, man. Yardbird says, I'm going to fall in love with my problems. Maybe then they'll leave me too. Yardbirds.
He's not wrong.
No. But you gotta work. Eric, thank you so much, my brother. He gets a heart. He gets a heart. Oh, it's a super sticker versus a super chat. Okay. Makes sense now.
Makes total sense. Yeah, I'm getting it now. The other, of course, alternative, folks, is to, like, I try to get it count your blessings, but also, like, it's always better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you prepped up and we did all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it all works out. Well, you were still better off for it. And,
we're gonna have a prep barbecue here at some point.
Right?
That's it. That's the way to do it.
Question everything and keep your head on a swivel, but remain positive, man. All is not lost. All is not lost, and everywhere you look does not have to be flames and death. All right.
It's true.
Save that for when you actually have to look at it. Why would you imagine that when you don't have to?
True story, Livingston, man. True story. Stay positive. As the homie Rescue says, make it a great day.
We got to live here now, man. And until the shit goes down, like, I hear you, but...
Ooh, Yardbirds, that's a good one. Stop counting the days and start making the days count.
That's right. Life getting in the way? Why don't you get in life's way?
That's it right there. Yardbirds done. I'm done.
You know what?
Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. Out of here.